Welcome back to the Shane Show. So good of you to join us. We are going to start things up a little differently today, folks. Back in my old account, I did a few Shane shows. I sang a few songs, kind of like starting them off like that. And I'll be singing this weekend on Sunday at the R Bar in the Great Canadian Karaoke Challenge, and I'm a finalist. It's exciting, and I've been doing some practicing, and I'm going to share some song with you, and then we're going to talk. We're going to chat, as we do on the Shane Show. So here we go, without further ado. Old Blue Eyes himself, Frankie Sinatra, for you today, to get you through the hump day. Welcome to Wednesday, Mercury Day. You feeling the Mercury vibe? I hope so. Here we go. Bum, 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 bum. Fly me to the moon and let me play among the stars. Well, let me see what spring is like on Jupiter and Mars. In other words, hold my hand. In other words, baby, kiss me. Fill my heart with song and let me sing forevermore. You are all I long for, all I worship and adore. In other words, please be true. Oh, in other words, I love you. Fill my heart with song and let me sing forevermore. You are all I long for, all I worship and adore. In other words, please be true. In other words, I love you. Well, there you have it, folks. The first song of the Shane Show of 2020 fall season on this account. That's exciting. Alright, that's enough of that. So, we're going to put on, of course, as we always do during the Shane Show, a little bit of my brother's music to back up the show. It just seems to work well. It does. We do have a good vibe that way. He put out a great song. You'll love it. Check out check out the link down here. I'll have it. It's a heck of a song he just did. "Scent of a Woman" by Shaun White. Holy Moses, what a great tune. Just came out. Very exciting. So what are we talking about today? Well, today on the Shane Show, we're talking a little bit about the astrology, because we always start with the astrology of the day. We have got the moon in Capricorn. Well, not only do we have the moon in Capricorn today, folks, but in what I believe is their final conjunction, if not, it'll be the second to last conjunction of Pluto, of Saturn, of Jupiter, and the moon all in the same spot. Very, very rare, because Pluto and Jupiter and Saturn are very slow-moving planets. You don't often see them all line up like this. When you throw the moon in there, that's a stellium of 4+ planets hopping on the Capricorn train. So some of you are looking at me saying, what the heck is Capricorn? Well, Capricorn, the goats, you know, you see those mountain goats up on the side of mountains, and you're like, it's like a completely vertical situation, but they somehow made it there. Man, that's the Capricorns for you, right? That's the goats. Their nickname is the General because they're the hardest working sign of the zodiac. They work harder than everyone else, the Capricorn energy does, and they outwork everyone. They end up in charge, and they're pretty good at giving out instructions, orders, one would say. Shout out to my elementary teacher who was a Capricorn, and she kept us all in line very appropriately. Mrs. Campbell. Wonderful woman. Wonderful time. So when you have these 4 planets showing up here, you have everybody tuning into these Capricorn qualities of being earth and grounded and workaholic and practical and realistic and somewhat stubborn. But it's also cardinal energy. It's the only cardinal earth sign. So it's not certainly without its boldness, one would say. So you will be feeling this energy whether or not you're a Capricorn. Chances are you have Capricorn somewheres in your chart. But either way, this is the weather. It's affecting all signs, so we're all feeling this way today. So, to get a little bit deeper on it, the moon is your emotional energy because the moon makes us emotional. Pluto is like a grenade. It just kind of blows shit up. And it's a 15-year transit for that one, so going through Capricorn for a while. Then you got Jupiter, which is expansive. It's gaseous. It just blows everything up. Like, that's not as in a grenade sense, but an expanding things sense. And then you throw in that Saturn, which is the ruler of Capricorn. Saturns are the judges, structure, establishment, the systems that now we are living in that are somewhat, one would say, archaic and in need of revolution. But first we have to break them down, and that is where we find ourselves at this moment in this wonderful time. It's scary as crap out there. I get it. We're all living through it together. What the heck is going on? You're saying to yourself, it's a little bit crazy. And I'm saying, look, things got to break down before we can rebuild them better. And on December 19th, one day before the solstice, Jupiter will hit Aquarius. Boom! Capping off what some would say is a 2,000-year process that began with the birth of Jesus Christ, the ultimate Pisces, who came and brought a particular type of energy to our planet that is now being passed off to us as a collective, to Aquarian and modernize and using technology and using our ability to connect, which is what Aquarius is, and technology. We're going to come together and we're going to take that energy of Pisces, that Pisces energy, and we're going to bring it into the world, and we're going to collectively share it amongst ourselves and make this world a pretty awesome place. You know, it is scary, but if you think back to 2012, this is kind of what we expected, is it not? We kind of expected the apocalypse, and here we are, it's the apocalypse. And we've only got a month to go, so, hey, if you made it this far, thumbs up to you. A lot didn't. You know, unfortunately, drugs, opioids are taking a lot of lives these days. So sad. I mean, people are just choosing to take off, but, you know, we grieve together on those that are no longer with us. But we are still here, encouraging each other and growing together through this experience called life to a better place. And I know that many don't want to hear that Trump name, but I love Trump, and Trump is still the President of the United States of America. And Trump is still going to be the President for a little while longer. 4 more years, because that's how it goes. If you think back to the last time Mercury hit this station, the very spot on November 4th when the election was, or the 3rd, 20 years ago was George Bush versus Al Gore. It took 6 weeks. It went to the Supreme Court. Gore thought he was the winner for a while. Like Joe Biden, the script is going to get flipped. The voting software is going to be exposed. It is going to bring in and usher in a much better time. But the rapids are exciting, are they not? If you're just tuning in now, I did sing at the beginning of this video, and go check it out. I did a pretty darn good job. You can catch me, another shout out at the R Bar, 2 o'clock this Sunday. I will be competing in the Great Canadian Karaoke Challenge. I am a finalist, and it is going to be lit. I hope you can join us. In all of this challenge that we find ourselves, we have to ask ourselves, is there not good to be found amongst the world that we see? And although the media would have us living in fear and constant scared as fuck feelings, that is not the state that I choose to inhabit. And one of the methods and tools that I have used is essential oils. These things I thought were just like a hippie thing. I wasn't really, I was a skeptic, straight up. But that has been changing as I've been using them. You see, if you do a little bit of research on essential oils, you quickly become amazed at how prevalent they are in our history. And not only that, but how effective they are and how much documented historic evidence there is for these amazing products. Thank you, Diane. I do enjoy singing. It is a lot of fun. The Shane Show will always start with a song going forward, as many times as is possible. Certainly this week, as there's lots of practice involved in getting ready for this karaoke competition. Yeah. So, there was a time and a place in our history, China's history, where if you had been walking around and caught with a bottle of essential oils, it was death for you. Only the royals were allowed to use this stuff. It is that potent. It brings the vibration up, and it's diffusing now. In fact, right now I'm diffusing a mixture of white angelica and purification and valor. Valor to give us strength to speak our truth in a world that would have us comply and bow and kneel. But that is not what we are doing. We are connecting. So yeah, they are pretty darn powerful. I use them every day, and they've got amazing Thieves hand sanitizer. This stuff's lit. Sometimes they make you sanitize your hands going into a store, and I ain't touching that toxic crap. I use this stuff. I just pull it out, put it on in front of them. They're cool, they're chill. I let you go on through, and you have got your hands sanitized too, which is always good. And I recently, my last order, got in this amazing cleaner. I'm just going to show you quickly what it did, because you're going to be, look, probably on another cleaner might do this, but another cleaner would have carcinogens in it, and I don't want to touch those things. So I got this at a yard sale in the fall. Okay, this is a pan that was all covered and caked, and look at that. You see that there? Ugh. Okay, that's been washed with regular soap, but it's just all black and scummy. Now look at what I was able to do with the Young Living Cleaner in approximately 15 to 20 minutes. Look at that, isn't that something? While I was waiting for the brownies that I cooked for my sister's birthday to cook, I did that. It's great. And all natural. Sprayed it around. Nice smell to it. It just works so well. And that's pretty amazing stuff. So I diffuse it every day. I smell it every day, I wear it every day, and it brings my vibration up every day, and it helps me see that I can get these things delivered to my door without threat of death, and I can control my own vibrational state and keep my house a safe and clean environment, and it's delivered to my door. And it's 100% natural and organic, and this stuff, seed to seal, Young Living, baby. They have the seeds, they control it right from the ground up. It's 100% oil, there's no fillers, it's all natural. This stuff is lit. Stuff is lit! Anyway, I'm having a great time on the Shane Show because it doesn't happen enough, that's for sure, folks. I love this song, You Are the Light of the World, because truly we are the light of the world right now, and we have to be the light in whatever way we can, by waking people up, but also staying in a happy spot while we're doing it. And it's not the easiest challenge. I get it. You have to remain somewhat detached to what's going on. You have to kind of realize it's all just a dream out there, okay? And there's sinister forces trying to control your dream. Be aware, but don't be too hooked into it, if you can understand what I'm saying there. You gotta be able to just, shoot out some love, shoot out some humor, and shoot out some wokeness in between, Get people laughing and then throw in some wokeness. It's a sweet spot, right? That's what it's all about. That's what the Shane Show's for! Shout out to our president, Mr. Trump. 4 more years, baby. It's going to drain that swamp. You're going to see the next 4 years just on a dime. Everything's going to pivot so fast. It's always darkest before the dawn, folks. And it's pretty darn dark out there with the mandatory vaxxers coming and tracking us with QR codes on our phones to get into concerts. If you don't got the vax, you don't get in. I'm telling you something right now that you're going to laugh at before. Right now, maybe, but you'll believe me when it happens. Right now, for not wearing a mask, you're ostracized. But they're going to flip the script on us here soon. And they're only going to allow people to unmask that get the vaccine. Now, I know they're saying they won't, but when they only see like 20%, 30% people getting the vaccine, they'll change that completely to last minute and say, okay, you can take the mask off only if you get the vaccine. And then there'll be fines for going into public and not wearing your mask if you don't have the vaccine. So it will be kind of like a scarlet letter situation. Nazi Germany got the yellow star on my shirt. If you got that muzzle on, you're one of those troublemakers that won't take the mask and protect the rest of us. And that gives us somewhat the right to ostracize you and treat you differently. So if we know that's coming, how do we change it? Well, I can tell you how we change it, folks. We know what they're going to do. It's obvious. They're telling us. Trudeau's talking about the Great Reset. It's all right there. But they are the minority. That's the thing. We are the majority, and we are all collectively waking up. These prohibitive measures that are being taken by governments to control us are having the effect of accelerating the awakening of many, many individuals. And we are the many. We are the 99%. So it is the time that was foretold in the Mayan prophecies that we would all awaken into a time of bliss. The Bible speaks about the rapture taking place and having 1,000 years of peace and bliss, of good and just positive energy, and everything's going to be great. Well, you know what? Before that happens, we have to go through the dark times. We have to go through the tribulation. And they changed the calendars around on us. And 2012 is actually December 20th, 2020. So we're 30 days away in a few from the apocalypse. So that's pretty darn exciting. And if you look at the year, in your reflection, you're like, yeah, this is that year. Of course, this is the year we were all worried was going to come. But it's here, and we're in it, and we're living it up, and guarantee you it's not going to be a bad thing, because every 26.5 thousand years, we line up with a very specific spot, and when that spot is hit, the galactic center triggers a great awakening of all of us, meaning, like the Avengers movies, we are all coming alive with powers, superpowers, and as we express those powers, using the great Aquarian age of technology to disperse our energy and our positive litness all over the internet, it kind of wakes people up, and suddenly, booyah! Aquarius for the win, because that's where we're going, folks. That's where we're going, and you'll see it really accelerate come February when we get the sun hitting that Jupiter, and then we're going to get this moon there, of course, and we're going to get that stellium in Aquarius, and that's when you're going to see things start popping. That's why the Canadian government has the tear gas coming in next spring. They know we're going to wake up over the winter. It's happening. You're part of it. We are the light of the world. That's what we do. We shine. We wake them all up. There's 1,000 lights. Makes a room pretty darn bright. You don't need every space in that room to be light. You just need 1,000 lights. 100 monkey effect, right? Remember that? I don't know if you haven't heard. I'll tell you a little bit about it. Doing experiments on some monkeys in an isolated island in the Pacific, and they were given the monkeys potatoes and turnip and stuff covered in dirt, just to see how the monkeys would react. And you know, eventually some of the younger monkeys figured out that they could wash the stuff in the water and then they could eat it. It was delicious. So they taught their friends, and of course the older monkeys, it took them a little while to catch on, and they thought it was a little bit cultish, but eventually they started washing their food in the water and eating it. And it was quite unique, because at about the time 100 monkeys in that colony on that island started washing their food, scientists started to observe monkeys and other islands all over the Pacific start to wash their food in the water. That's amazing, because it means that we have a collective consciousness. Even monkeys have a collective consciousness, and as we all wake up, the energy and the information that is awakening within me is awakening within you and within my family and within my friends, because they've proven that the Mariucci effect exists when they flew in thousands of people from all over the world to Washington, D.C. and said, you're going to see the murder rate go down because we're going to meditate for the next 3 days. And the police chief said, no, it'll take 6 feet of snow to get the murder rate to go down by that amount. But for 3 days, while they meditated, collectively they brought the energy so up, the crime went down. And so when you're waking up and meditating and exercising and keeping yourself in a positive state, playing with your family, your pets, you are raising the energy of your family and friends who can't get out. Maybe they're closed in, like that gentleman across the road who can't get out of his house, you know. I feel like my energy is contributing to his energy. He's right there. You can see him sometimes. You can see me. I bring mine up, he brings his up. And you know what? That's what we're here to do, because he's got this. And you can still see this. If he wants it and he puts it out, it'll be attracted to him. And that's how it works, folks. So welcome to the ride. It's going to be one heck of a Christmas. Oh yeah. If we're allowed to have one, right? Yeah. We'll have our Christmas. I'm going to have my Christmas. That's right. It'll be great. I'm excited. And I think you can see, especially from the posts and driving around, people are taking Christmas way more seriously this year. The Christmas decorations are up. People are posting more about it. And you're seeing less of this, you know, don't post Christmas stuff in November, and a whole lot of Christmas stuff in November, which means they can't. It's the emperor has no clothes, right? Christmas is canceled, but we're all going to have Christmas anyway, and that'll just make them look silly, so they'll have to cave. It's just what it is, right? Great times, folks, in the Maritimes tonight. Tonight I get to hang out with woke people. What's up, y'all? And B Sovereign's in the house. We're going to have a little bit of a meet and greet, and we're going to be talking about some stuff that's pretty damn exciting. If you want to talk about it to me, go to www.unifythepeople.ca and check that shit out, okay? Especially the history section. Very enlightening, very illuminating, eye-opening. So, get ready for some wokeness coming your way. More on that in the future. We will talk about that. Again, that website is www.unifythepeople.ca. Check that shit out. And check out Young Living Essential Oils. I can hook you up with oils. It's so amazing to get these things delivered to your door at cost. I mean, like, for such a minimal cost is what I mean, you know? Like, there was a time when only royalty could afford this stuff, and now the common person, you and I, could have it delivered to our door for $100 a month. They get all these amazing oils that cure cancer and all these diseases and bring our energies up, and it's just, this stuff's the bomb, man. I'm telling you what, it's not just some hippie girl shit. I'm using them, I'm loving it, I'm going to promote it for the rest of my life, because this stuff is the stuff. It's just lit stuff. That's right, Diane, you decorated early. I think we all are. It's great. And we all should. We should just make this the best Christmas ever, because we can. I mean, we are powerful ones. We are the ones that are more powerful, because as you awaken, as you get wokeness, your energy rises, right? That's why oils are essential. These oils are so pure, they raise your vibration naturally just by having them around you, and then you raise other people's vibration. So that's an easy way to do it. Now maybe you want to use crystals. I also use crystals. I got crystals right here. You can use sound, positive music, positive bells, like I started the Shane show off with. So there's so many ways we can get there. Just encourage you to do so, just to get out there and shine your light however you feel called to do so. That's the key to this. Can't just be me, can't just be somebody else, because they're censoring us. You know, I shut down my older Facebook, probably shut down this one at some point, but it doesn't matter, you know, because there's other platforms. There's BitChute and there's Parler and there's all these other stuff going on. So you don't just have to be dependent on one platform anymore. And I guarantee you, once Trump gets in, he's coming after big tech. He's coming after Facebook and Twitter. Twitter censored him like this. There's going to be hell to pay, y'all, for those folks. So we just gotta buckle down and get through the next 30, 60 days. And when we turn that corner in February, folks, and that Jupiter conjuncts the sun, and we start hitting that critical wokeness as a collective, I think you're gonna see some exciting times come Aries energy when March 21st hits 2021, folks. That's gonna be. We're gonna have some fun times in the spring of 2021. It's gonna be hairy, it's gonna be lit, but we're gonna be waking up collectively, and we're gonna be hundreds of us in the streets, folks. There's gonna be thousands of folks in the streets, tens of thousands of folks walking around in the street, just loving their freedom and making it free for themselves because they realize that they have to get out and do it, and it's gonna be them, and they're gonna do it. And we started that seed this year. It's been building, it's been growing, and through the winter months it'll percolate in people's minds, and it'll grow collectively through the internet, through us, disseminating it. And then when that Aries energy hits, when that Mars energy comes in the spring, and that sun finally takes that snow away, I'll tell you what, folks, we are going to take our power back as a people. And that means 2021 is going to be a little hairy, but that means 2022 is going to be freaking awesome, because we will have our power back. And we will make the world a nice, fair, beautiful place. Because, of course, we're all good people for the most part. It's just we've let evil run amok and get empowered, and it's alright. We're flipping the script. It's all going to happen. Boom, boom, boom. Collectively, we're raising the consciousness to a point where it's not even fun for them anymore, right? Look at some of those people that were posting shit on Twitter that came back to grab them around the ass. Thought they could get away with making all kinds of that disgusting stuff. I ain't going to get into it on this podcast, but, they had to delete thousands of tweets and got shamed and blocked hundreds of thousands of people from commenting. I mean, hey, we're waking up. That's what you're going to have to do. You're not the only, you're not in a dark room now. You're in a light room, and you're dark energy crawling on the floor, and we're just like, get the heck out with a broom, That's what you are now. So that's what we'll do. What are you waiting for? What are we waiting for? I don't know. It's a good song right now. What are we waiting for? This is my favorite song, man. Our Existence is Resistance by Shaun White on YouTube. This is literally my favorite song in the whole wide world. And I've listened to a lot of music, and I love a lot of music, but this song takes you to another place, especially if you're high. Ooh, it's a trip. It's a journey. It's not just a neat piece of music. It's an artistic experience. It will blow your fucking mind. And it still does to me, and I've listened to it thousands of times. And every time I listen to it, I go on that fucking journey. And it's incredible. It's an incredible piece of art. Anyhow. You feel frustrated. Feel like something's weighted. Like it's all overrated. Complicated. Speaks to you, doesn't it? The words of this song. You feel like it's twisted. Injustices are being committed. You know that our existence is resistance. I'm just saying the words of the song in the background. Your very act of existing right now is your resistance. You don't have to necessarily go out on the streets and protest, okay? Just don't leave us as a collective. Don't take the easy road out. Just find a way to raise your vibration. I know some ways. I can teach you some ways if you want to know. Don't leave. Check in with Big Daddy Hugs before you do anything crazy, and I'll show you some ways. I'll share them with you. I'll give it to you free, because we need to gather to band and hug and share energy, and then we'll all grow stronger, more powerful individually. That's the key. So on that note, folks, I have got to rock and roll and say so long to the very next Shane show, where we might sing some Neil Diamond for you. So don't miss that. That's coming up on the next Shane show. If you love Neil Diamond, you won't want to miss that one. That's right. I've been listening to Neil Diamond obsessively for the last 2 weeks, and you're going to get some Neil Diamond on the Shane show, folks. You're going to like that shit. Alright, we'll see you later, folks. Give a hug to someone. Thank you for watching. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for being you. You're awesome. You're special. Have a great day.